Hi guys, we are live. Very exciting. So today we have Edwin with us today. So we will just wait a bit. If you're in the audience, definitely come say hi so that we know you're there, so that we don't feel very lonely. But currently there's 0 people watching.
That's 0 people. Holy
It's
cow.
okay. It's okay. Later they'll be here. So basically today I have Edwin here. So and let me just say. Let me just show you guys. So Edwin is one of my astrology classmates, and today we are going to be talking about the how will we explain what we're talking about?
So basically, the huge changes that you are seeing this year, that has
Mm.
been sort of predicted last year by our famous teacher, Mei Sim. Basically, the shifts right now happening are actually due to a conjunction between two planets in upstairs lah. Basically, Jupiter and Saturn, they conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. If this all sounds like jibber jabber to you, don't worry. It just means that when these two great planets come together and have a party, everybody else has a party too.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yay. So we have Maytag in the house as well.
Wow. Hi, May.
Yeah. Hi
Good to
May, and
see
then we
you.
have Cliff over here. Yes. So I guess before we start, I just want to share what Edwin has been doing, because Edwin beyond just learning astrology, he has been super busy as a real life business person. Possess a big life.
You
So
can
anyway,
put up the munch.
a munch. Oh, munch. Okay, okay.
You
So
can put up the
Edwin
munch
has
page as well.
okay. Come. So Edwin has been running a munch. Oh yeah, salad smith. So Edwin has been running a successful business for the past 16 years, and then it's only recently that wow, so beautiful. I'm very hungry now. Hey, but I look at your picture, I thought, hey, no mask, no mask. You have to highlight taken before the circuit
Oh,
breaker.
that was in an age ago when masks were not
Yeah.
mandatory.
Okay, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
I like your kitchen
that's
stuff. Your kitchen stuff is like scary. Is it a gold?
they're just shocked at the whole
Yes.
that my stealthy photographing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this is Edwin's business, but recently he has started up his own astrology slash, I guess, is it live consultation sort of thing?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So
Edwin,
okay, go ahead. Yeah, we tend to
Yeah, so
interrupt.
Edwin has been super popular among his friends and his staff as someone to consult. So basically, he is very good at giving life advice, because I don't know. Have you been through a lot, or you just have a lot of life
Oh
experience?
yeah, I've been giving a lot of advice actually online. I think during CB there's a lot of people mooning at home. So
Yeah.
I just suggest, guys, why don't we just Zoom, and then they give me their birth time. Sometimes
Mm.
the wrong birth time, and then I get very
Oh,
exasperated and say, why the hell did you give me the wrong birth time? It's all wrong. So anyway, all of my ex stuff, I think I ran through the charts. I tell them, what specifically are like their personalities, what they're
mm.
good at, what they should be looking out for in their lives. And I think they kind of find it interesting. Not sure whether I got through that. We are in a very, very interesting time right now, and
Yeah.
all of us should be more mentally prepared for it. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So Edwin just now he mentioned that Jupiter is meeting Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So Jupiter as a planet is about expansion. It's about like big things. But the problem with Saturn is that it's very like limiting kind of force as well. So when big things meet, I don't know,
Small
tough
things.
things.
So they
And
cancel each other out, they balance each other out. But the last 200 years, just for comparison, the last 200 years we were in Earth signs, and that's basic about compliance, accounting, status, wealth accumulation, assets, stuff that basically what F&B is really all about, right? Building stuff, selling food, getting people to queue up, being like bigger is better, that sort of thing. More shops, the more the merrier, right? That sort of thing. And I think all of that is going to go away and will be
mm,
replaced by something more airy fairy, because that's what Aquarius is all about, like something more fair, something more broad based in a sense. How do I say? I mean, it's going to be disruptive because Aquarius is very
mm,
disruptive in nature. We're going to
mm.
see a lot more tech, cutting edge tech coming up, and we'll all be discussing it later, I guess. Yeah. Uh, so basically, when we move from Earth to air, it's quite a huge change actually. So for all of us here, who are thinking that COVID is going to go away, I say to you, no way, Jose. It's going to stay for a long time. So it's best to get ourselves mentally prepared for this new change in the whole way, in the whole climate, and how our lives are going to be disrupted in the way we do business, in the way we go about our daily lives. And the sooner you come to terms with it, I think the better it is for all of us.
Okay. So I guess interesting question to ask the audience basically is that
Hi,
how
Sean.
yeah, let me highlight. Hi Sean. Yeah. So
He's
basically
my lawyer. He's my lawyer. He's been
oh
suing
he's a
people for
lawyer.
me.
Okay, okay. Then,
Yeah, so he's been suing people for me in the past 2 years.
okay.
So he's one scary bugger because when I had my franchisee from Philippines come in, he actually sort of slammed the table and told the fella to pay up or else he'll be in the shitters. I myself got scared. I was like, my balls shrank at the time when he said that.
But good
But
lawyer, good
anyway,
lawyer.
the franchisee paid up, but that's all in the Earth agency. So Earth is all about litigation, getting the
Oh.
stuff you want, right? Get assets, protecting your assets, right? But I guess in the age of air, it's not about protecting your assets anymore. It's about sharing your assets, being in communities, sharing your resources, and everyone actually benefiting from this huge resource sharing,
Yeah,
right?
so a very interesting thing that has happened, I guess, during the COVID season is I've seen a lot of like theater companies sharing their content online for free. It's sort of like back in the Napster age as well. So basically, we're actually like just summarizing our teachers' sayings, but then in our own words. So yeah, back then, when was it? Basically, there was a period when Jupiter and Saturn met up in Libra as well, and then it was an age of where people were just like sharing things illegally but it was still
Yeah.
sharing like and then it felt a lot like the period then where you can download things but on your tito type of like modern
Yeah, I mean, I did some research myself. The last time Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in the air sign Libra, as you just mentioned, AIDS was clinically first reported. So,
yeah
I mean, that came from monkeys, right? All these
yeah
animals doing stuff
okay,
to us,
okay.
monkeys and bats, right?
The humans
So,
and monkeys okay
so
like
you
that
just think back to 1981. As far back as 1981, we have a virus, an airborne virus, right? That has never really gone away. I mean, sorry, not an airborne virus. It's actually sexually transmitted virus.
yeah because I
Sorry.
guess Libra is a sign about relationships as well so if you think about it yeah maybe
Correct.
lah
Yeah,
that's how
so
I get it yeah
AIDS is here to disrupt our relationships. But I think, but you think back 1981, and here is 2020, right? And we're talking about how many years? 1981 to maybe next year 2020. That's about 30 years.
yes
And in 30 years, we still have not found the
40
cure
years
to
is it
AIDS.
40 years
Is it
I
40
think
years? My
yeah
math's quite
well
bad.
math is
Sorry,
not
it's
bad
40
yeah
years. Holy
yes yes
shit! Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. I better go and impress
that
calculator
oh
now.
no I'm not yeah but
40 years. So in 40 years, we actually have
wow
not found
40
the cure to AIDS. Imagine, despite all our efforts, right, and sex being such an intimate part of our lives, pun intended, scientists still have not found the cure to AIDS. So I say, if COVID is this disruptive and people are still hoping for a vaccine either this year or next, I say forget it, move on with your life. No one's
take
going to
care of
travel
yourself
anytime.
take care of yourself okay
Sorry, wash my.
I was telling them take care of themselves yeah take care
Yeah, not just that. I mean, even my lawyer is just hoping to go on a vacation, right? A vacay, like all this. He's posting all these nice pictures on Facebook with his wife. Reminiscing about the time when he rode horseback in
uh,
Kazakhstan. I said, all that is gonna take a long, long time to come back, dude.
mm,
Really, really wait for it, honey.
uh,
Yeah. So I think because the Aquarius sign is very dissociative, and this is right, and social distancing is right up its alley actually. So when we talk about disassociativeness, we talk about actually being together like this. We're having a live chat, right? You and
yeah
me, but we're still far apart, right?
yes definitely yeah
Yes, but together in cyberspace, but apart
mm,
physically. So
mm,
this disassociativeness will become the common
um,
thing, the common denominator for the next 40 years, I presume, because yeah, I don't know. When is
200
it until when is it
I don't know
until no, when is it until it conjuncts in Gemini? Because I think the next sign it conjuncts
oh
is in
then I
Gemini.
google it yeah then you
Then
continue
okay, so maybe it's gonna be sometime this dissociativeness until we find a
okay
way to. So I think even more extreme measures are going to come about. I mean, if we go out in public, like right now we have masks on, right? But there are reports going around say that okay, you can actually enter to the eyes. So
Yeah.
it's not just the nasal, passages and your throat that actually gains access to. But so I'm saying like maybe hazmat suits could be the thing of the future, but I'm just
Oh,
guessing right here, right? So
ayo.
this dissociativeness, I believe, will extend to all parts of our lives, basically. So not just the physical, I mean, not just the physical part, but the emotional and the mental part as well. So so sometimes I worry, in the future, how are our children going to part Thor, right? It's it, right? I mean, I'm just thinking ahead because I have kids like 4 years and 5 years old, right? So I'm just thinking, how are they going to part Thor? And I think the world will be divided into two camps. I mean, the common sensibility is that always one, to deal with COVID, we do herd immunity. That means let the
Oh,
virus go through the whole population and ravage half the population, and then the ones that survive, right, will be immune to it. That's what
yeah.
happened to all the various plagues, right? The bubonic plague and all that before it, because once the whole disease have gone through half the population, the other half will be immune. It's like natural selection. But obviously, this is not a very humane thing to do because Aquarius is very humanitarian in
Mm,
nature. So we are gonna just sort of contain the whole virus, but we're gonna do it by social distancing. So this is
mm,
gonna be the norm going forward.
okay.
And I'm just thinking, in the age to come, it's probably two camps that are going to exist. One that has the virus and is showing symptoms of it, and they're very vulnerable to it. The
Oh,
other one are really the asymptomatic carriers that are no longer they could be sort of immune to it. They're not
okay.
showing signs of it. So probably these are the guys who are actually once it's proved that they're actually immune to it, they're probably the guys who are out there running doing deliveries,
No
running
lah,
on
I
logistics.
think they'll be the leaders, then they kill off all the weak people. Ah, that's what
Maybe.
will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but even the asymptomatic carriers, right,
Oh,
can also
yeah.
spread the virus. So imagine
Um,
if you were asymptomatic carrier, nonetheless, and you do a food delivery run, and you go to someone who's vulnerable to the disease. Human beings, it's been said that human beings are the virus that are infecting the earth, and like COVID is showing that the earth is recovering from it. I don't think so. I think human beings are the vectors of this disease, and the only logical solution is to remove ourselves from being the vectors. Right? I mean, we are both the vectors and the host, right? We are hosting the virus and we are the vectors, we're spreading it as well. So I think I'm just thinking in a very, very short future, we will see drones, thousands of drones crisscrossing the skies, right? And this will just do all the deliveries for us. Whatever needs to be delivered will be delivered. Logistics will never go away. But how we actually do it, maybe an entirely different proposition as well. So self-driving cars, all that would be the norm, I think, because we need to remove human beings from the whole process altogether. So we're all stuck at home getting fat, you know, getting
it's
really
like
fat.
Wally.
Yeah, I paint a very dystopian future, but I think this is what Aquarius is all about, really. So I think I got some people earlier on asking me about what things to invest in. I would say if you are going for REITs, right, those Earth-based property, because Earth is the old age, right, that just
Mhm.
passed, right? Earth. So if you're investing in property, I would say get out right now because okay, in the past we've often had like people saying like, oh, we don't like foreigners, we don't like foreigners, we don't like foreigners, right? But guess what? It's quite possible that the foreigners may no longer be here
Mm.
when we speak about the agents right now, right? The stories they tell are like they're trying to get for all the empty properties because they either get a pay cut or they're being sent home, right? The agents are
Mm.
all scrambling to fill all the empty apartments right now. So
Oh.
guess what? If you don't like foreigners, they may no longer be around. So property is set to probably to crash quite
Mm.
quite quickly.
When can I
And
buy my own house? Yeah.
I think the center will empty out, and I think really the properties that actually do very well will be out there in the wilderness. So
Okay.
if somewhere, if it's somewhere in
Oh.
the middle of nowhere, where nobody can actually find you or touch you, I think that's the safest place on earth, right? Because if you're very vulnerable to COVID, you actually want to be away from everywhere else. Because it's been shown that the more dense the place is, the longer the virus lingers in the air. So it would make sense to go out and to find a place that's furthest away from human civilization. You are still
Mm.
connected, right, to everybody else through the internet, through power, and hopefully that doesn't fail you because if the internet and the power fails you, you're pretty well screwed, right?
Then-
But I mean, if you talk about property, if you want to invest in REITs, I think the best thing to go for is like warehousing REITs because
Oh, yeah.
you need somewhere to store all the goods, right? Before people or drones eventually or self-driving cars or robots pick them up. And I
Mm.
think, like what May said, whatever rose with the Industrial Revolution at the beginning of the air age will die. So manufacturing. So we have people in the manufacturing process, and guess what? If you're packing people cheek by jaw on the production line, That's not going to be good for production one, and neither is it good for actually for the workers themselves. So if we have a situation where the whole assembly line is automated, like robotics, AI itself, I think that will be a reality that could be sooner rather than later. I think I said all that in one breath.
Very good, very good. In the comment section, if you have any questions you like us to answer, let us know. But no personal readings, like, because sometimes I get like, what about my love life? I'm like, not here.
So as I think about the age of Aquarius, and I think my lawyer friend here would agree. We have if not for the fact that our government has passed the COVID-19 temporary provisions into law, we will see a wave of bankruptcies sweep through the entire sector. So basically, and actually, when you think about the government being so willing to lend money right now, being willing to guarantee 90% of loan, but the banks are the ones that are dispersing all the funds. So money is cheap. So government is making money cheaply available at 2% per annum. That's really, really next to nothing, or less than that actually. The banks are actually lending it to you at 2% per annum. But really, the banks are really just giving it to businesses that are actually just doing well right now and want to expand. They're not really giving money to businesses that are failing. So if in the bank loan application you put, if the banker just asks you casually, okay, so has COVID-19 ever affected your business anyway? If you even say in the slightest way that, okay, look, there's trouble brewing on the horizon, that's why I'm borrowing money, boom, there goes your loan. Right?
Okay.
So even like they were saying stuff like 200, 300K, 200K, 300K loans are quite easily available. I don't think so. They're willing to disperse 5 million loans and above, but that's already to big companies that are already doing quite well, right? And they have a lot of cash already in their coffers, and they're ready to pivot online.
So Michael says exactly, because
So they are lending money not to those who are affected by COVID. It's actually they're lending money to those who are actually going to do well.
Okay.
So
So we have a really great question from Jiaming here. Is like, what jobs or careers should they be looking for during this new age? Woohoo! Love it. Love this question.
Okay, Jiamin, you attended the January 18 May scene event, right, with me. So she did mention that the freelancer thing is the thing to go right now. So if you're still looking forward to being an employee during this period, I think you can forget it. I mean, we're still in the last vestiges of the Earth age. I mean, on 22nd December onwards, there probably won't be any chance for you. The unemployment indicator, according to our teacher, is next year March. So for 9 months, and that's going to be a whole January 18.
Sorry, my side, my bad.
Okay, so you're gonna see a whole wave of retrenchments and firings just happening in the whole sector from March onwards until the end of the year.
Which is happening now, yeah.
Which is happening now, but this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? Because all of the stuff that the government has introduced has only managed to stave off unemployment for the time being.
Yep.
So right now we are entering a phase where the government is trying to save jobs, but these jobs are probably not worth saving in the first place. So if you're not pivoting to online, I mean, the joke has been going around that who's responsible for the digital transformation of my company, right? Is it your CEO?
No,
Is it your CTO?
No.
It's actually COVID-19, right? So if you're not pivoting to the online age, so what you can do is you can start small businesses as a freelancer, showcase your skills. Your currency in the new age is not really how much money you have in the bank. It's really your network, your portfolio, and who you have access to. So that will count in the new age, right? So if you're good with coding, with programming, you can. Google and Facebook will please snap you up, lah. But let's say you're good at some kind of designing or UX UI. You can be a freelancer out there. You are good with logo design, or you want to do drop shipping. All those are actually very valid freelancing sort of things that you can do. Hoping against hope for a job might be the worst thing you can do. So do try and develop a side hustle that will become your full-time hustle by next year. Yeah.
Yep. So speaking of like basically jobs, so Jiaming says, hi, yes, great. Thank you. Okay. So I guess speaking of I guess jobs and stuff like that, right? Recently I've been doing some career profiling, and then, since Edwin also knows a lot about astrology as well, basically based on our birth chart, we're able to tell what our strengths are and like what industries might be suitable for you. And as Edwin said just now, basically it's that if companies are not hiring, what can you do? What skills do you have? What I guess your network, of course, it is important as well. But so what I find, right, because during these career profiling session, what I find, the people who actually are more able to overcome this are people who actually do things beyond what their jobs are. Because a lot of people that I talk to, right, they only like go to work, come back, sleep, and then go to work, come back, sleep. So if you don't have any like interest or you don't have any other activities that you're doing outside of your work, then probably like shifting to a freelance lifestyle might be harder for you as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I guess I mean, interestingly though, I think our teacher May said that once we are freed from the power plug, right, we could go anywhere we want. But the problem is, in this new age, I don't think we can go anywhere we want. We're still tethered to the power plug in a sense. But I do believe it will be a new age of ecological consciousness. I think there's a lot of noise online right now about the kind of food packaging that we have.
Yeah, so I have a funny like observation about the eco stuff, because usually we see like uncle auntie, they don't care about that, right? But then now, because like, oh, I got charged 20 cent, then everyone bring their own like tapao bag, which is like, hey, you know what, we're forcing people to reuse without even like forcing them.
Yeah. So I think there's a whole big fuss online about the packaging stuff and all that. So I think people bringing their own thing is very good. Obviously, there's sets of another whole chain of fear about whether or not these containers are actually contaminated in the first place.
What do you think about that? Yeah, is that a real fear? Because you guys work in the F&B as well. Yeah.
I think this bamboo. I mean, over the years when I do F&B, the bamboo ware and all the other ecologically conscious packaging, right? This question, can I still trade? Okay, now let me just answer the packaging thing first, right? So all of this is actually they have actually been marketed to us and actually at a lower price. But now that now that we're all so reliant on packaging at the time being, I think these people will come into the forefront of most vendor consciousness. I guess people when they're eating at home, they're looking out the balcony and they're looking at the nature, right, and say, the world is a better place now because there's less traffic, there's less pollution and everything. Let's keep it that way. What do you know? What do you think, right? It could happen, right? Yeah. Oh, caution. Okay, caution. Can we still trade? Yeah, absolutely. I think anything that moves fast, instantaneous, is an air thing, right? So whatever.
Information kind of, information based.
I mean, but really, the markets are very volatile right now, as my lawyer would say.
Okay,
And
as your lawyer, you keep saying a lawyer. It's like, did you tell you to say that?
yeah. My lawyer gets on my. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we love you, Sean. We love you.
Wow.
But anyway, Washington, to answer your question, right? If you can use AI or any sort of algorithm, right, to scout the markets, in the sense that if it's instantaneous, if you're making multiple trades at one go, in either directions, right, I think that would be the way to go. I think relying on human judgment and error, I think that could be. I mean, that can still work, but I think that would involve a lot of stress and sleepless nights. So the best thing is always to rely on the technologically disruptive programs to help you trade lah. I mean, obviously, the old age where you rely on your instinct to slowly accumulate assets and all that, that could be a thing of the past. But don't quote me. I'm not a very successful trader. So just I mean, this is just my two cents on what the new age can bring. Anything that's fast, instantaneous, that use technologically disruptive tools or programs, I think that would go a long way into helping you make money. Technically, yeah.
Okay. So we have another interesting question from Ram over here. It's like, is water compatible with air era, things like marine and ferry services? The thing is, marine and ferry aren't really water, even though they are water. But what are they transporting? They're actually transporting things that are material. So it's still like the earth kind of era stuff. Then yeah.
Actually, let me just jump in. I don't think doesn't mean that something uses water as a I think it's still quite. I think it depends on really what you're doing, right? If you are if you are, let's say, if you're transporting stuff from a central warehouse and you're using water as a conduit, I mean, that can be that can be construed to be very air, but I still think it belongs a bit to the Earth age where it's very slow. It takes months and weeks to arrive. So if you have a warehouse and use drones to actually transport those things, that would be more air. But like I said, I think every warehouse probably, if it's a cost consideration, using a ferry or a huge container ship to transport goods to to the distribution facility that's much nearer to your intended target audience, right? I think that all can be considered part of the very whole air era sort of chain logistics. Like it may not necessarily be a water thing or an air thing. I think it's still, as long as you're talking about logistics from point A to point B, getting from point A to point B, I think that's still very air. Yeah, it doesn't really matter about how it's done. Yep.
Yeah, but he also mentioned, hey, you have to shut me off on your side.
Shut me off on your side.
Yeah, you have to turn on my voice. Yeah, because I can hear it now. Yeah.
Okay, how to turn off your voice?
Yeah. Now it's okay. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I can hear myself. But anyway,
Yeah,
Mom
yeah.
says Marine and Ferry are slow. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Ah.
Oh no, how do I
It's
can't
okay.
turn off you.
No, I don't hear it. No. I still hear it, but it's okay lah. It's okay lah. Then I don't talk so much. Yeah, you talk more.
No, the thing is, I'm using unless you want me to put on a bunch of earphones.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's quite hard to. Otherwise, because I'm using a speaker
yes.
right now. That's why the microphone is attached to the whole PC, so you'll pick up anything that you say. Yeah.
That's so weird. Yeah, it should. Okay. Anyway, yay. So, okay. So we just follow up with Ram a bit. It's like yes, it's mainly point A to point B services. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for the question. And we also have a question from Cliff over here. What element will align with the transmission of wisdom and knowledge? Um.
What element would align with the transmission of wisdom and knowledge?
I think air. So technically in Western astrology, air is like the knowledge side of things. It's like the brain side of things, the logical side. So I think air it might be the answer you're looking for. But if we didn't answer it correctly, let us know as well. Yeah. So, but of course, there's many ways of transmitting knowledge. I was gonna say fire signals.
Fire. Oh, you mean like last time?
Smoke signal.
The smoke signal, like the Qing Dynasty, is it on the Great Wall, right? They put fire, they smoke signal. That's quite air also, actually.
That's true. Yeah. So so I would say it's more air, transmission of wisdom and knowledge, yeah. Yeah. But let us know if we interpreted it the right way or the wrong way. Yeah. So okay. So
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You say we keep interrupting each other.
No, we do. We don't do it. Testing was like that.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say. Only I'm just filling up air. Yeah. So yeah, please.
No, I mean if we are expecting so stuff like awards, accumulation standards that we I was just talking about. So everything that has to be measured, right? Basically, I think they will fall away in the age of Aquarius. Because if there are no standards, what are there to measure up to? I mean, just one point in just a point to make. For instance, like all the business owners right now, if they're facing like a rash of bankruptcies, right? Really, there's so much so that the government cannot contain, right? They will just throw all the standards for bankruptcy anyway. So what's the point of bankrupting everyone? It doesn't help the economy, right? It's widespread failure on every count for everybody involved in very earth sort of sectors, right? So what's the point? And I guess even in like home-based learning, you can see that the DSA, like the direct school admissions, right? That has actually gone from physical sort of standards, like how well you play badminton or how well you do a shuttle run and everything, right? All that has gone out the window. In fact, it's gone down to interviews only. So I think, and Aquarius is about authenticity, right? So the more real you are in interviews, the more earnest you are. I think that's going to land you a place in the direct school admissions rather than your physical ability now. The standards, certain standards like, okay, how fast can you smash? How many points can you grab off your opponent during a match? All that will go away. And in fact, I think even in higher education, you see like a lot of the students in the US, they're planning to sue their they're planning to sue their universities or colleges because 90K for Zoom lessons. What the hell is that, right? Right. And they're not being held accountable. Like in a sense that when you're mooning away in your dorm room, right?
Yeah.
you're not being held accountable to your standards, right?
Mm.
Okay, you don't get to hand out assignments on time. You don't get to do certain things by a certain deadline. So all of them are like planning to take their universities to account. So I would say higher learning itself might actually take a back seat to peer-to-peer learning.
Mm.
Sorry,
Learning.
peer-to-peer learning will be probably the more in thing right now. Like we're learning from each other. We're building a community now. So I
Mm.
learned from Min Ching how to do relationship astrology. I mean, sort of. And then she teaches me other stuff. She will teach like tarot card reading
Mm.
to her community as well. So
Mm.
community building is probably the way to go. Actually,
Mm.
more than higher institutional learning.
Mm.
Actually,
Okay, so we have a very heated, not heated, a very lively discussion in the chat about will gas be better than crude oil? So actually, do you know what will be best? Solar power. So I think, yeah. So basically, guys, don't invest in things that are like from the earth or even like things. Yeah. So anything that is like physical and stuff like that probably isn't something you want to focus on, as we know slowly if because currently solar power technology isn't as advanced, but of course there might be a breakthrough, going into the air era, and when that breakthrough happens, basically people won't be using gas so much. Uh,
mm.
mm.
So just recall, just maybe over a month ago, right? That oil went below $45 a barrel, minus 45.
Yeah, it's
So
like
here
give me
I
back my
was
money.
So here I was expecting to drive up the petrol station and pumping oil and looking at the attendant and like, where is the part where you're supposed to pay me right now for the oil? And he's like, are you crazy? Go the payment counter is over there. Go and make your payment.
Uh,
so so right now, I guess, I mean, during that point, because there's so much oil lying around,
mm,
people will pay you. I mean, those oil suppliers will actually pay you to store the
mm,
oil for them.
yes.
So anything that comes from the ground, petrochemicals, anything that you can dig from the ground,
Mm.
and I think to a certain small extent, gold and silver, but gold and silver did not arise during the Industrial
It
Revolution.
was a way before where.
It was way before. So I
Uh,
guess coal mining is probably will go the way of the dodo. What else can go the way of the dodo? I don't know. Anything to do with the earth, lah, basically,
okay, okay, yes.
and destroy. And construction as well. Actually, construction. What happens when a bunch of people, foreign workers, get together in a dorm after a hard day's work and start spreading the virus among themselves? No
Mm.
workers, right, for the next day, right? Because you can't keep spreading the virus to everybody, and anybody who comes into contact with them, like people who deliver food to them, they will get the virus as well. So construction is probably going to go down the drain as well.
Mm.
So, and I guess that will probably be prefab at some offsite facility, and then prefabrication will probably be the thing going forward. You prefab the whole thing, it gets sent to the work site, and it gets put together by automated machines.
Oh,
Probably.
I thought in Singapore it's like already like half like pre-made and then they just like
Yeah,
Lego
but
it.
we're still using the Bangladeshis to sort of
Okay,
put the
okay.
block together, right? So
Oh.
I'm thinking going forward, if we are to minus the human factor away
Mm.
from even construction itself, it will have to be totally autonomous. Even if it's like from a remote facility, you
Mm.
operate a crane, right, from a remote facility, right? Just like how we
Ah,
operate drones right now, right? Like
okay.
the airstrike drones, right? So if
Mm.
let's say you can operate a crane remotely, you can stack the blocks together. You don't have to be physically
Yep.
present. But the
Ah.
finishing touches, we might need someone else or maybe a very delicate, sophisticated sort of robotics to sort of piece
Mm.
all the tiny, tiny micro issues together. Lah. But I guess once the blocks are prefab, they can be assembled at site by remote
Mm.
control robot, maybe a crane
Mm.
or a digger.
No.
Could happen. You never know. Yeah.
Mm. Definitely. Yay. So yeah. So anyone else has questions? Let them know. Okay, okay. So okay. Yeah. So Cliff actually does Chinese astrology. My mic. Sorry.
That mic is very phallic in nature.
It's a mic. Don't think about it. Okay, I put like the crown
It
face.
looks it
Crown.
looks very
The
phallic in
crown
nature.
face.
What's wrong with you, Yunchin?
Walao. It's a crown cam. Cause if I
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
So Cliff says water in Chinese is wisdom. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Trying to link the. Okay, okay. Nice. Okay, okay. Good, good, good. Yeah, cause I don't know much about Chinese astrology, but thank you.
Uh, Water in Chinese also I mean, it's about sex as well. So I mean, I'm all about sex, right? Anyway, but air in Western astrology, especially the tropical system, right? It's not about anything near anything earthly at all. Air
Hmm.
is all about thought, right? Whatever goes on in your mind, whatever. I mean Aquarius, Libra. They're all about very flaky social relationships. About fairness, very higher thought sort of thing. So the air thing is not really anything to do with the physical form, physical body. It's more about higher thought. It's more about what goes on in your mind, really. Yep.
And communication, community.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, transport. Yeah, could be air also. Especially air transport. But of course, the airlines are grounded now, lah. But I think we could see a new age where planes take on a different sort of meaning altogether. I mean, we can only imagine.
That's true. Yeah. Woohoo. Okay. Now we're like, yeah.
Relax, Inching. I need to catch my breath also.
Okay. Yeah, because we talk a lot. Yeah. Then let's see. Yeah. So let me just double check some dates. So the exact Jupiter and Saturn meeting up together would be at the end of the year. But then of course we're already starting to feel like all the things that are happening.
Yeah, this is like an earthquake. This is like the earthquake before the true upheaval, right? Before the real change, right?
Okay.
So in order to start rebuilding all over again, we need a whole earthquake to shake the foundations of our earth, of our earthly sort of dependence. And when we move into air, it will be completely, completely new altogether. It will be something that we wouldn't even expect. Yeah. Yeah, 21st, 22nd December, depending on which part of the world you are in, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I copy the US one, yeah. Lazy.
Yeah.
Then I guess
Anybody else has any questions?
any questions?
The live feed is a bit slow, actually. I think
Yeah,
the
it is
comment.
a bit slow. Yeah, but I guess while people are coming in with questions, we will just talk about what Edwin does on Astro. Let me just find it first. Yeah. So Astro, we
So basically, I've started this business in the. Does it mean we already got our bosses? Could they be out of norms? We have 3 retrogrades happening right now, and today is actually the start of the Venus retrograde. And actually, Venus itself is a representation of our value, our sense of self worth, and really anything that's material. If Venus is in retrograde, a lot of material stuff actually might go into a sort of not so good kind of function. In a sense, we may actually see some supply disruption. Could be a material shortage somehow because Venus is in retrograde, right? And it's hitting like today is hitting Chiron in the 6th house. So actually today people are feeling a bit moody about the fact that that their jobs or their employments are like going into the shitters, and that affects their sense of self-worth, right? A sense of higher. I mean Venus is in the 9th house, so it's affecting their worldview in a sense. Yeah. So we have the Mercury retrograde also on June 18. So what happens during Mercury? I noticed during Mercury retrogrades, like the US stock markets, right, it takes a huge dive. I don't know why. I just see that last year. Like when I see Mercury retrograde, I think the last Mercury retrograde in I think in March 12th, right? We see Bitcoin. I'm a huge cryptocurrency fan, and later more on that because this is like the air age, right? Cryptocurrency took like it dumped from 10K all the way to 3.7K. I'm like, what the fuck?
Let me know when it comes, and then let me buy some. Yeah, I cannot buy that. Yeah, I have no money to buy.
I suspect you can probably go into the market for stocks and BTC cryptocurrency around June 18. If I've been tracking the Mercury retrograde for BTC for some time already. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, the price crashes. It's like uncanny. I'm like, what the?
But hashtag disclaimer lah. Later people sue you.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. Please don't hold me. Don't record this and then sue me in court for. I mean, I'll get my lawyer to sue you back.
Yeah, he's very good lawyer.
Yeah.
So Ram is asking whether we need to be, I guess, like aware of our bosses. Could they be our norms? I'm currently Pluto and Saturn are both going to retrograde, so I wouldn't. They are powerful planets, but I don't think you should be like scared of other people. That's how I see things. Yeah.
But also, having said that, right, in the current climate, if you are losing your job, don't worry too much about losing your job. Get ready to build a side hustle that will become your full-time hustle in future. So then you don't really have to worry about what your boss does, right? What your
Yeah.
boss does is actually secondary to what you actually
Mm.
will be doing in the future, right? So if you
Mm.
are really that your boss is going to fire you, I would say to you that, well, plan
Get
B is
ready for
always
it.
an option, right? You need to build something, right? I mean, if you put all your eggs into one basket, then I think you're in serious trouble. I mean, for all of us out
Mm.
there, it's always good
Yep.
to sort of, make plans for the future, right? If you
Mm.
expect COVID to go away, then you're in trouble as well, right?
Yeah. Mm.
And having said that, I think we're having 3 retrogrades this year. It's quite unusual because only in every 2.5 years, I think, do we have like both the Venus and Mars retrograde in the same years, because both of them travel around the sun at a different speeds, right? So that we have both retrograding at the same time this year says a lot about what's happening in the world, around the world, and in Singapore right now.
Mm.
So the Mars retrograde actually, and it's in Aries, so it could be like people making promises to you and then not really living up to it, being very impulsive about what they say and do, but not really going through it in the end. So that could be an aspect of the Mars retrograde as well. And you have like multiple three Mercury retrogrades this year as well. So when they all stack up, that actually means like turbulent times, lah, basically for
Mm.
the whole situation right here in Singapore and the world. Yeah.
And for me, when I think about Mars retrograde, Mars is how we take action. Mars is how we're aggressive and direct. When it goes retrograde, it means that we are not able to like be aggressive. We are not able to be direct. So I'm just slightly worried that there'll be more like lockdowns and stuff like that happening. But of course, hashtag disclaimer lah. Don't sue us lah. Hashtag.
In fact, I think there will be. I mean, if our teacher is correct, right? May is correct. That means there'll be a lockdown end of August,
Oh.
and that lockdown will be even more severe than the one that we're doing right now. So I think we're gonna celebrate a little too early in June and July. And I think this virus has a way. I mean, it's all meant to be. This virus has a way of worming itself into our most weakest chains and starts disseminating itself in the most rapid and insidious way possible. So from the end of August onwards, we will see spread so virulent and so severe that even our own heads of states themselves are scratching their heads on how to contain it. No dongle that you carry with you and no trace together and no contact tracing is going to ever help them figure out, because it is spreading at such a huge speed that you cannot detect it fast enough. That will be the issue, and that will happen from August to December onwards. And in December, finally fed up with all the stuff that's going on, right? We're going to come up with very, very interesting technological solutions to all of this COVID situation. I guess by the end of December this year, all of us will be used to being cooped up at home, being fed up at home, or actually being very productive at home. It really depends on your mental acuity, right? So you got to be strong in your mind and figure out. I mean, those who are in water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces, right? Especially Pisces. You got to be careful. You got to guard against being drowning in your own emotions, being caught up with all the world events. Like you see the number of deaths going up, you start emoing already. Don't do that, right? Go and do something productive. Like me, I work out twice a day. I go for 10-kilometer walks until my knees are like shredded, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, if you were to rub my belly now, it's not as comfortable as
Not an invitation yet.
it used to be. Yeah. So don't start wallowing in your own little hole. Get up now and do stuff. If you can, exercise. I mean, don't go to crowded places like that's like detrimental, to everybody's health. But produce, be productive. Whole FB live seminars like we are doing. Write content, on your blog or whatever. Start a new website, start a new business.
Mm.
Just on the whole, get out there and do stuff. If you
Mm.
allow your emotions to overwhelm you, there's no telling where it will lead you. Just one down deep rabbit hole that you can never climb out of. Right?
Okay, so this is my friend Nicole. She happens to not have any air in her birth chart, but she's very heavy earth. Yeah.
Well, it really depends lah. I mean, my wife is very heavy on the earth side, but her sun and moon has progressed to Aquarius sign, so I think she's gonna cope quite well in the next 8 years.
I have to check
So
her
unless
period.
we have a clear view of what your chart really is,
I have a chart, but it's not a personal reading. But no. It's more like
okay.
no. I guess it's more like for people who are afraid. You know what? They feel like stop it, Mike. Yeah.
You and your phallic mind.
My phallic Mike. Yeah. So, right. So basically, people who, for example, if we're saying, "Oh no, we're moving to air," and then the people who have heavy earth, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. What will happen to me?" Like she gave this face. I guess there is still need for the people who are practical, because Earth isn't just about really like the digging of stuff, because Earth people are practical. If we're all like all airy fairy, right, then there's no one to ground us, then it'll be like the Napster era lah. No one actually,
Yeah.
how yeah.
I think right now we still need. I mean, in F&B, we still need people to go and cut sandwiches, to toss the salads, right? But it's really, and then get people to actually send the food to all the houses. I mean, that's a very air thing to do. But you can be very earth by actually producing the food itself, right? That's a very earth thing to do. I mean, you can go and go and accumulate more gold bars. That's a very earth thing to do. I mean, it's not because it is not because you are in an air age that earth people are suddenly dead and gone. I think the people who are more watery in their signs, that they have more water in their charts, right? They tend to get more emotional. That's where the danger really is. If you keep wallowing in your emotions, earth people are more practical. They actually go and do stuff to sort of protect themselves. But if you're very watery and you drown in your emotions, that could be a huge sign of trouble, actually.
Yeah. So yes, Nicole still got hope. And she said my mic so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So do the practical thing. Accumulate stuff.
She's a amazing accumulator. Yes.
This is not financial advice. I mean, personally, I prefer cryptocurrency, but it should be up to you. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually examined the gold energy yet in the charts. So yeah, not financial advice. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin for me. And I think digital currencies are actually the way to go, because if you look at it, China is trying to come up with a digital yuan, right? So. But the problem with state-backed sort of digital currencies is that that they can be manipulated as well. I mean, the whole point of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin's existence, and the whole point, and Aquarius is all about freedom. It's all about fairness, right? I mean, the whole thing is about not being manipulated in a certain sense. So Bitcoin just went through its halving yesterday, and there's only a certain amount of coins that can be mined. So there's no manipulation there. The supply is fixed. There's only going to be 21 million coins out there only. You can't change the amount of coins out there. So it can't be manipulated. Whereas right now, the US has printed 2 trillion worth of US dollars. So guess what? Guess what happens when you have more apples? You have 21 trillion apples. Each apple is going to be 1 cent or lesser, right? Yeah. So I guess it's stacking crypto. Yeah. So I mean, it's a supply and demand issue. When you have more supply of money, what happens to the value of money? The value of money just drops, right? So it's a good thing. Our Akong here in Singapore has actually actual cash, the accumulated actual reserve that's not printed yet, and we can afford to. And I think social welfareism will be on the rise. Printing of money aside and inflation going up, right? I think in Singapore we might actually see a situation where deflation might be more of a thing than inflation, because if we are spending money to help. I mean, businesses are going under. We're spending money. Well, I mean, it's really, really weird to see the PAP giving out money to every citizen in Singapore. That's like the last thing I would expect PAP to do, right? I mean, their ethos has been for the very first time for people to help themselves, like upgrade, go for upskilling and whatever. But that is not going to work. Actual giving of money is the only bomb right now. And once people take money, it's quite hard to tell them that you can't take anymore. It's quite possible when we have future lockdowns, especially in August onwards, to expect more money to be handed to us, because there's no way we're going to have to work. Big companies are going to fire. Superstructures will be flattened. All your big companies that are earth-based, that are based in property, your capital land, your banks lah, that used to, if the banks haven't actually gone virtual in a very very big way, if still vested in all the stuff that still deals with money, they might be in big trouble as well. So all the bankers, maybe the lawyers also as well. And then insurance, shared resources will be disrupted. So if you're an insurance agent, I mean, this could be a difficult time for you as well, right? So no one is being held accountable. No one is going to. Everyone is going to probably ask for handouts in the future and expecting it to happen. And with jobs scarce to come by, I think freelancing or being self-employed might be the thing to do if you are the kind of person who likes to be free, who likes to drive your own thing. I think if you are very Uranian like me, like you enjoy crisis, like crisis is your friend. You might actually enjoy this period more than a lot of other people out there who are like, wringing their hands and like worrying about their future. I think that doesn't help at all. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. So stacking crypto, yeah, freely printing.
Yeah. Some more. Yeah. So. Yeah, so we are actually reaching the 50th minute, which Edwin has contributed 95% of. So
5% off.
95%, yes, and I just not. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
people, you come on the show, I not, for you.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
if there's,
basically, oh no,
yeah,
man. I mean, basically anybody who wants to have their charts read,
yes,
uh, it would be a good thing if you can go to my page, give it a good like, give it multiple likes, and WhatsApp me. I mean, the
multiple
first
like.
five.
Okay, what's the disclaimer first? Because Edwin is being very Aquarius here. He's like free for all. I'm like, yeah, are you sure free for all? But anyway, so guys, if you are the first 5 people to go to Edwin's page at Stro, and then like it first, of course, and then WhatsApp him. It goes to its WhatsApp. I'm like, I would not give out my details, but it goes to his WhatsApp. And yeah, so he'll be giving 30-minute birth chart reading. So I guess it's really dependent on what questions you might have, because Edwin has a lot of like experience as well. But of course, I would say probably don't expect any like predictions, because predictions does take a lot of work. So yeah, don't be a freeloader, okay, guys. Yeah. That's why.
Basically, I will do a psychological profile. I'll give you your strengths and weaknesses. The predictions part I can probably touch on very, very briefly. I don't really want to go into depth. I really want to more like help you as a in a coaching sort of capacity, if you're willing and able to engage me.
Yes.
So I can be, a sort of. I've been in 16 years in the business. Really, all the ups and downs. I've been through like. I started in the aftermath of SARS.
Wow.
To the Lehman Brothers crisis. It's really really funny. And I still kept going. So if anything is a symbol of resilience, this is probably me. I hate to trumpet my own little thing, but yeah. But as I look back at my life, I actually think if as I look back at my life, I realize that if I don't press pause once now, it'll be a adrenaline charged journey. It's just so much things happening in one go. Yeah.
And I guess because Edwin has been a business owner for so long, if you are planning to start a business, or if you have like questions about like starting your own business, I think Edwin would be like one of the very good people to talk about it. I think, yes.
Yeah.
See, people are already texting him now. Is it? I want free
Yes,
reading.
it's
I want
crazy.
free.
My phone is ringing non-stop. Guys, stop doing it. Okay.
Stop. Okay,
I'm
fine
just
for
kidding. I'm
me.
just
Stop
kidding.
it. But yeah. So
Okay.
anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So thank you guys so much for being here. If there's any wait, let me see. There's comments. Yeah. So, ayo, Nico, she got free because I told her no free reading from me. So. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here. Thank you, Michael, for being here. Thank you, Ram, and thank you, Cliff, of course, and Sean as well. Thank you, everyone. I hope Nicholas was here just now. Sophie is here, was here, May was here. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Of course, if you have any last questions. Oh, okay. Oh, Ellie, you also asked for reading. Okay lah. So Edwin, these are people I know. So basically, they're not like weirdos. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah.
All right.
So thank you everyone for being here. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with Edwin. If you have any questions for me, I don't know. Next time we'll talk about it. Yeah. I'm just like very lazy, but yay. So thank you guys for being here. Edwin, do you have any parting words or?
No, guys. So do your best to live this moment. Think of it as I mean, it may be difficult for some people who are quite emotional. try and see it in an exciting light, and it could be an adventure for you as we transition from, don't think of yourself as employees anymore, think of yourself as adventurous, on a new venture, right? That's what adventure is all about, right? And build new things, get yourself busy, don't moon at home, don't slack at home, right? Get out there, get working, and all the best to you guys, right?
Yay.
I really enjoyed your
Bye.
presence.
Bye. Thank you, Ram, as well. Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.
Nicole said she did already. Bye bye. Wait.